required resources, you're not talking just about money, you're talking about avenues. I mean, talk to me about one resource first.
I mean, I think that's the big thing is the funding. And finding the right foundation or people out there in Miami that we haven't tapped into that believe in our mission, that's willing to support it financially.
So there's public dollars and private dollars that you're looking for this. So right now, the first one looks like public dollars, which are mayor's offices, right?
Well, the mayor's office has people like Pat there who know a lot of these players, that private players and foundations that, you know, we pick up the phone and ask to talk to them, they'll hang it up.
Okay.
Where someone like him introduced us as a conduit, we may have a meeting with them to at least pitch our plan.
Also, our county commissioners have been given funds to spend. And so we got to get in front of them and show them how good the program is. Marketing. That they want to take their funding dollars and give it to us.
Is that from the national COVID?
No,
it's not.
Each commission is budget us
Okay.
$1 million.
So let's look to others from other groups. What kind of input, what kind of feedback would you give them on this? What kind of help?
I'd underline the word outcome because that's a big deal with United Way and funders today and foundations. If you look at foundations and research it and under outcomes, Pathway of Hope is outcome. And that would give you a focus area.
Yeah, I agree with them. And a lot of people I ask too, you know, it's one thing, you know, feeding someone a food bank, but, you know, how do you get that person off, you know, the vulnerable and need? And this program takes that and really changes the trajectory of how they're going to get off and be able to be self-sufficient.
Yes, Clyde.
Well, one of the main statements Dr. Donnelly said is, because he was part of the study, that it shows Pathway of Hope it was funded by Lilly Foundation Central Territory, and it was rolled out after a successful launch. So they have the proven story, but one of the gripping ones that we've used, and when I talk to donors in particular, is that this program literally addresses the unmet needs. How do we break the curse of generational poverty? It shows that if they graduate Pathway of Hope, they get gainfully employed, they got their kids in school getting educated, that family and those kids will never come back into poverty. It breaks it. Pathway of Hope so far is a leader in that because it's a program that's not limited to 10 weeks. It can go for years based upon what's needed to get that family out of poverty and be successful. That's what really catches, I guess, like leadership.
That's the market.
I use the word transformational life change. That's a transformational.
So part of what you might even do, this dribbles down into your second item, and that is where I bet there's all kinds of marketing literature for Pathways of Hope. It's already printed.
We have a Pathway of Hope specialist. Her name is Jamil Collins, who has a format and a presentation just for that.
Can I have her information?
Yes, I can give you
Can we
that.
edit it and add our own personal stuff?
We know.
Okay.
We have a professional
Okay.
too.
Here we
Yes.
go.
No, I know for sure.
No, we know where all those marketing materials are. We know how to access them. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
All right, well, thanks for your input. Oh, yeah,
Let me just
Pat?
throw this out to you guys, because I've been thinking on the donor side, but on the county side, I don't know if you've ever been in to talk to our head of housing and CASD, which is our community service, because, you know, like, we got a lot of public age housing. We could pilot this at a couple of those places.
Yes.
I could be
That's
used, so.
really that would be the next step after we get it going, is to take it to the city and say, we want to pilot this in one of your projects and show how successful it can be, and then it becomes the model
Yes.
that the whole
So
county.
let's just make a note of that somewhere.
We're gonna,
Sorry,
we want to give him a hand, and then we're gonna go to Fort Lauderdale. Thank you so much. All right.
This has to do with our building project and needs rehab and expansion. Down at 1445 Railroad Boulevard. Number one barrier is lack of right people. There is a real need, and just tell the story is how we're going to try to break through that. Seeking leaders who are invested in the Army already, and then from those leaders, peer-to-peer, getting them involved and a part of what we call a steering committee, establishing a steering committee. Number two barrier, struggle to devise a workable plan. Well, you have to have vision, so concept design, and what's the cost of that project, and then a feasibility study for funding. You know, is it feasible to be able to come to our community and be able to raise the funding necessary for that vision? And then hiring a campaign management team, which will lead us and guide us and help implement securing lead gifts during a quiet time, 30% of what the goal is, and then kicking off a full campaign after that to the community. Is a workable plan. Then problem holding partners accountable. Give clear expectation and responsibilities, who, what, where, and when. And then having updated report meetings following those accountability times, celebrating the successes and adjusting for shortcomings. There may be some folks not getting it done. Scratch their name off, bring somebody else on. But just keep it moving and then complete the campaign with a victory lap.
Okay, guys. Yes.
I'm just using this as a learning lesson for me as a young person. What is the importance of securing that 30% lead before you kick off the capital campaign?
Well, it brings a lot of momentum. It brings, and money attracts money. So if you've got if for instance our campaign is going to be a $17.5 million campaign. If we have Washington D.C. pledge $750,000, that's going to attract. I got a call from the city. I got a call from the county. In fact, I'm meeting one of the mayors this afternoon, and then a gentleman who runs Subway. I'm having a meeting with him this afternoon as well, trying to get him to be one of our head of the steering committee. And so money attracts money. You get that momentum built in, and people who have the money and the wherewithal, they see something that's worth the Salvation Army, right? Everybody loves the Army. This town loves the Salvation Army. But if they see a workable plan and a really good concept and how it's going to impact the community, they're willing to dump money in it because other people are doing it. The House of Representatives are doing it.
Yeah, but then there's also some funders out there for whatever reason. They hold off, they'll really tell you, I'll hold off till the end. I want to come in and clean up the campaign. Or I don't even want to give until I know you're going to make your goal. There's funders that are just that way. Why? I don't know they're that way, but
well, they want to see it become successful. They want to.
Success breeds success, right?
Yep.
And it's the best practice also. You got having that 30%, 40%.
Yeah, the lead gifts are quiet, and a lot of times the feasibility study bring that out. We went back to the Huizinga family. Well, they're up in West Palm, right? But they do have a son that lives in Broward.
By the way, the new owner, I just heard this over the weekend, I don't know, but Pier 66, which was owned by Huizinga,
Yeah.
The guy who bought a hotel,
Yeah.
only bought the hotel because there wasn't a place big enough for his boat to be docked. So he bought the whole hotel, has gutted the whole hotel. He now has his boat parked there, he's doing some other stuff there too, but you need to find a way to get to that guy, because he's, right?
You got a name for a guy?
I will find it out. I don't know, someone was telling me the story.
That's crazy.
But there's a lot of money here.
Yes.
But, you know, people aren't going to be interested unless lead people in the community who have been here a long time have. I had a board member hand me $1 million 3 years ago because we were struggling with our finances. The same board member handed me $1 million 2 years ago. Same board member handed me $1 million again. You know, so for funding, that's funding. And it's people have all kinds, but those kind of people attract people that can get on board with it. So you really need to have the right people, and that's what we don't have right now.
Well, that's been helpful. That's helpful for the whole group. Let's hear it for
In that exercise, was there an aha to the process or something you take away from that experience of having to identify key barriers to what you want to do with that? What was the learning, the big learning?
You gotta go through the process.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they have a plan, they're putting together a plan.
You cannot skip from A to Z. I mean, our tendency as leaders is to fly over all the fences and everything. This sucker has to be worked out on the ground. It's hand-to-hand combat. This is critical. I want to show you, Henry, this would be the time. I want to show you movie time, Should It Work? If it works, then I'll ask you what you thought about it and what we learned. Just not introduce it so you won't know what you're missing. Start with why.
They had it up to 40.
Yeah, and Annie promised me. Here's Annie. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I went out room.
Hey, there we go. Come on, Amy.
So it's August 5th, 2010. A massive collapse at the San Jose copper mine in northern Chile has left 33 men trapped. Half a mile, that's 2 Empire State Buildings, below some of the hardest rock in the world. They will find their way to a small refuge designed for this purpose, where they will find intense heat, filth, and about enough food for 2 men for 10 days. Above ground, it doesn't take long for the experts to figure out that there is no solution. No drilling technology in the industry is capable of getting through rock that hard and that deep fast enough to save their lives. It's not exactly clear where the refuge is. It's not even clear if the miners are alive. It's not even clear who's in charge. Yet, within 70 days, all 33 of these men will be brought to the surface alive. This remarkable story is a case study in the power of teaming. So what's teaming? Teaming is teamwork on the fly. It's coordinating and collaborating with people across boundaries of all kinds, expertise, distance, time zone, you name it, to get work done. Think of your favorite sports team, okay? Because this is different. Sports teams work together, that magic, right? Those game-saving plays. Now they win. Sports teams win because they practice. But you can only practice if you have the same members over time. And so you can think of teaming. So sports teams embody the definition of a team, the formal definition. It's a stable, bounded, reasonably small group of people who are interdependent in achieving a shared outcome. You can think of teaming as a kind of pickup game in the park, in contrast to the formal, well-practiced team. Now, which one's going to win in a playoff? The answer is obvious, right? So why do I study teaming? It's because it's the way more and more of us have to work today, right? With 24/7 global fast-paced operations, crazy shifting schedules, and ever narrower expertise, more and more of us have to work with different people all the time to get our work done. Right? We don't have the luxury of stable teams. Now, when you can have that luxury, by all means, do it. But increasingly, for a lot of the work we do today, we don't have that option. One place where this is true is hospitals. This is where I've done a lot of my research over the years. So it turns out hospitals, they have to be open 24/7. And patients, well, they're all different, right? They're all different in complicated and unique ways. So the average hospitalized patient is seen by 60 or so different caregivers throughout his stay. They come from different shifts, different specialties, different areas of expertise, and they may not even know each other's name. But they have to coordinate in order for the patient to get great care. And when they don't, the results can be tragic. Of course, in teaming, the stakes aren't always life and death, right? Consider what it takes to create an animated film, right? An award-winning animated film. I had the good fortune to go to Disney Animation and study over 900 scientists, artists, storytellers, computer scientists. They teamed up in constantly changing configurations to create amazing outcomes like Frozen, right? They just work together and never the same group twice, not knowing what's going to happen next. Now, taking care of patients in the emergency room and designing an animated film are obviously very different work. Yet underneath the differences, they have a lot in common. Right? You have to get different expertise at different times. You don't have fixed roles. You don't have fixed deliverables. You're going to be doing a lot of things that have never